at the end of the day. Fire in the pipes and a blur in the eyes, where the clay meets the chrome and the sheet metal flies. It's a different kind of gospel, a different kind of heat, when the rubber meets the clay and the slide's complete. It's a Wednesday night street fight, hammer on the gas, tailing out and screaming, looking for the past. From the green flag drop to the checkered flags waving, it's a Wednesday night war and the dirt we're craving. No points for pretty, no room for grace, just a bent up bumper and a killer pace. Yeah, we're living for the slide and the engine roar. Wednesday night street fights, give us some more. Got a dirt track legend and a beat up Chevy and a rookie kid that's right foot heavy. He's searching on the high side, looking for some grip. One wrong move and he's gonna let it slip. He's leaning on the cushion, bouncing off the wall. You gotta have the guts if you're gonna have it all. Let the sparks fly high, let the header scream. Everything you got for that dirt track treat. It's a Wednesday night street fight, hammer on the gas, tailing out and screaming, looking for the pass. From the green flag drop to the checkered flags waving, it's a Wednesday night war and the dirt we're craving. No points for pretty, no room for grace, just a bent up bumper and a killer pace. Yeah, we're living for the slide and the engine roar. Wednesday night street fights, give us some more. Hands on the wheel, white knuckle grip, keep the nose tucked in, don't let it slip. Riding the berm, a catfish in the bottom, find a gap and you know we got her. Wash off the mud, fix the bent up tin, just to turn around and do it all again. It's midweek mayhem underneath the lights, chasing down the checker through these dirt track nights. It's a Wednesday night street fight, hammer on the gas, tailing out and screaming, looking for the pass. From the green flag drop to the checkered flags waving, it's a Wednesday night war and the dirt we're craving. No points for pretty, no room for grace, just a bent up bumper and a killer pace. Yeah, we're living for the slide and the engine roar. Wednesday night street fights, give us some more.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll here this evening from the beautiful Cedar Lake Speedway. Cedar Lake, the home of the Dirt Warrior Racing League here this afternoon. Each and every one of these drivers looking and ready to put on an absolutely immaculate show for us here this evening as their practice session about to come to a close. So all these drivers are going to get ready for their heat races here in just a couple more moments as they're going to get lined up right now. Here we go. Heat races getting underway is starting on the pole in the number 33 is the Steve's Lawn Care Sunrise Racing ride of Dylan Simmons. Simmons will start in the pole position here in heat race number 1. To his outside in the Sexton Paint and Body Cocky Floyd Consulting number 2020, it is Jeremy Sexton who will start in position number 2 here in this heat race. Starting back in third in the number 8 ride, it is the Selena Truck Stop. The Selena Truck Stop. Dirt Warrior Racing League that has got the piss jug man on the roof of it. It is the 8 ride of Tyler Jackson starting here in third. To his outside in the Hoosier number 216, it is Jason Calhoun. Starting back in position number in the 21 is the TNT Racing machine of Shane Matthews. To his outside is TNT Racing teammate. That is the 45 of Stephen Burrow. Dustin Hennigan in the field with Jim Revis there to his outside, rounding out our top 8. And at the rear of the field in the NFG, number 49, it is Jackie Whaley bringing up the back of the pack. It's here we go. Heat race number 1 here from Cedar Lake Speedway. And quickly, these drivers are on the loud pedal and duking it out here in this one for what is going to be a dogfight all afternoon, as Jeremy Sexton, he's going to jump up and lead lap number 1, using that middle lane to his advantage here, able to slide around that 33 of Dylan Simmons. Simmons now going to have to try to hang on to it here, as he's now fallen into that second and final transfer spot into our A-main feature event, and there's contact. Look out, there goes Simmons, and there is our first caution flag here in these heat races. We finally turn the yellow flags on here in the heats, and it's a good thing for Dylan Simmons that we were able to get one, because, man, that was a tough hit, tough lick right there, battling for that final transfer spot into the A-main feature event. Now watch the DWRL get a good look there at the P-Jug man to his outside, and I don't know if I'd really put this one on T-Jack or not. It looked like he got to the outside. I think Simmons just did not expect him to have either that good of a run. Nonetheless, they come out of corner number 4, tight together. 33's coming up towards the outside fence. They run out of room, runs into the 8 of Tyler Jackson, and that's all she wrote, as that puts them both into some early race damage, and the 33 pointing the wrong direction, and obviously running into even more damage there, as he does get some contact right there. His tail tagging him was that 57 of Jim Revis. Revis really just nowhere for him to go. Hopefully not too much damage there for that 57 ride. So we'll get them all stacked up, we'll get them all racked up and ready to go back to green flag racing for Jeremy Sexton. He's still out in front for the 8 of Tyler Jackson. He'll keep position number 2 here, so he's not going to take an EOL here. He feels that he was not at fault, that was not his fault there for that caution flag, and I feel like that's probably somewhat accurate, and he'll get ready to restart here in position number 2, see if he can try to find a little something and go after this 2020 ride of Jeremy Sexton. Now for Sexton, he came into this race with the points lead to put himself into a position here to not only win this heat race, but to gain an extra point or 2 in the point standings between himself and that 8 ride of Tyler Jackson. His T-Jack is a driver who's hunting him down here for that points championship again this season. So for the 2020, getting the upper hand, getting that one extra point here in the heat race, but at the same time you also get to start in the pole position for our A-main feature event, where Tyler Jackson is probably going to be starting a little bit farther back, maybe back in 4th or 5th position out there on the speedway, depending on how many heat races we have here this evening, and that's if T-Jack can hang on to position number 2. He's got that 216 of Jason Calhoun right there on him. Calhoun's looking to try to work his way into the A-main here this evening. He wants to try to jump up and steal that second spot away from T-Jack. Is T-Jack up the track looking for a big run down the back straightaway? Able to get it, but just not enough to reel in that 2020 so far here in heat race number 1. Stephen Burrow back there in that 4th position with Shane Matthews running at our top 5. We do see Jackie Whaley working to his outside. Looks like Jackie will move in to that 5th position. So for Jackie's went from dead last now inside our top 5, but he's running out of time, and a quick hurry is already 8 laps down here in this heat race. Matthew slides back to 6. He'll have Dustin Hennigan, Jim Revis right there behind him. Revis trying to work his way up to the front here, and for Dylan Simmons, that contact, the damage, and unfortunately the EOL going to the rear of the field, hurting him here as he's back in 9th. But for Jeremy Sexton, last time around here in heat race number 1, it will be the Mad Dog himself, Jeremy Sexton, who will pick up heat race win number 1 this evening. T-Jack will come home in 2nd, with Jason Calhoun, Jackie Whaley, Stephen Burrow, our top 5. But it is top 2 to advance on through. Everyone else outside of our top 2 will go to our consolation races here this evening, as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to rumble now for Our second heat race of the day. Our second heat race is about to get started. It is about to get a little bit more fun, a little bit more interesting, as James Beavers in the chat says, "What's up? What's up, James? How are you, James?" James coming in showing the love. My boy Jeremy says, "Yo, yo, yo, fam, bam." He says, "Never mind. She hates me." I laugh out loud. 7th in heat number 2. Oh no, oh no! That is a heartbreaker there. Jeremy's going to have some work to do here in this heat race to try to work his way up and through the field. Hyatt, what's good? Hyatt in the chat as well, showing the love, says, let's go, baby, let's get it, chat. Let's get to battle in here as heat race number 2 about to get rolling. Every one of these drivers getting ready to duke it out here in this one for what is going to be another amazing heat races. Starting on the pole in the number, I believe it is the number 91 ride, Tyson Pankow. Pancake will start in that pole position. To his outside will be the number 518. That is Joseph Grandy. Starting back in third in the 32, that is Jacob Stefanski. To his outside, the 7 is Easton Riedner will start there in 4th. And back in 5th, we do see the 74 of Josh Patterson, Jacob Sexton, Will Hargreaves, J.C. Floyd, and Evan Stefanski rounding out our top 9 here this evening. Wait, Jeremy said he was in heat race number 2. He's not in heat race number 2. What are we talking about? You're not in heat race number 2, brother. As here we go. Pankow, though, out in front. Great launch, great start. He leads lap number 1 here in our second heat race of the day. Pankow and that beautiful Dirt Track Junkies Bulletproof Motorsports 91 machine continuing to just try to pull away as they battle door to door. Back there behind them, the 32 at Jacob Stefanski trying to steal second away from that beautiful number 518 of Joseph Grandy. Great to see Grandy back out there on the racetrack as the number 518. I do believe the RTB ride there. I'm not sure what the RTB is for. We'll have to take a closer look at that paint scheme. But, man, that thing is looking fresh. It's looking real nice. I like that paint scheme, man. It is looking absolutely fire out there on the racetrack. And for Grandy, he's hoping that he can light a little fire underneath of him and try to hang on for this second and final transfer spot into our A-main feature event and move Jacob Sexton and the rest of these guys back behind him to the Consis here this evening, as we do see a little contact right there. Oh, baby. Jacob Sexton using the middle, trying to work his way up and into 4th. That 74 of Josh Patterson, though, does not want to give it up. And here comes J.C. Floyd, the cocky Floyd Consulting, number 18 himself this afternoon, trying to advance his way up and through the field. Now he's kind of split in the middle here, trying to work his way around Patterson. He does make that pass for the 5th position. Patterson falls back to 6th. Easton Riedner and Will Hargreaves still back here battling for 7th and 8th. Evan Stefanski there at the rear of the field in that Sunrise Racing WB Creative Design Steve's Lawn Care number 9 machine. But out in front, it is Tyson Pankow who's got this race lead, man, and he is running away with it. Almost a second gap between himself and that 518 of Joseph Grandy. Grandy doing a great job holding off Jacob Stefanski, but Stefanski still there, still in an area that he can strike and try to steal this second and final transfer spot away. We'll have to wait and see how it plays out. Grandy blinking a little bit right there. That gets really tough, but here we go. White flag is displayed for Tyson Pankow. So for Pankow, he gets that white flag displayed, and he is ready just to get this one into the history books as he rounds corner number 3. And out of 4, it's Pankow who will pick up heat race number 2 here this evening in the Dirt Warrior Racing League's Wednesday night street fights. Grandy will come home in that second and final transfer spot, moving Jacob Stefanski, J.C. Floyd, Jacob Sexton, and the rest of that heat race to our Consis here this evening, as we'll get them stacked up, racked up, and ready to roll. Heat race number 3 is about to get underway. So heat race number 3 is about to load into the sim, and starting in the pole position, hard to see numbers on this race car. I'm not sure if we're going to get a good look at it or not. We'll have to wait and see if he can get a different angle here as he gets rolling. But out in front, starting on the pole, will be the 357 of Derek Rice. Rice will start in the top spot here this evening. To his outside, the 7 of Jeremy Aikens will start in position number 2. Starting back in third, it is the 13 of Evan Monaghan. To his outside will be the 19 ride of Mr. Dakota Proud. Starting back in that 5th position, it is the 727, the Racing Dirt, the Race On ride. That is Zach J. Clark starting in position number 5. To his outside in the Bulletproof Motorsports JP Designs number 61. It is Josh Peacock who will start there in 6. Starting back in 7th, he said it, we just wrong heat race in the chat, but it is the 3 machine, that Wheeler Metals Dirt Warrior Racing League's number 3 machine of Jeremy Vaughn, who will start there in 7th. To his outside will be the 4X, the CarWorks machine of Mr. Ryan Howard. Starting at the rear of the field in the Sunrise Racing number 2, it is the Steve's Lawn Care machine of Cameron Stefanski. Here we go. Heat race number 3 underway here in this one. Is out in front. It is the 357 ride. Tough to see numbers and names and everything else on this race car. I'm not sure if it's just, maybe it's better in the daytime compared to nighttime, or maybe it's just the racetrack. Every once in a while, I can get a good look at it. It does look pretty fresh, but it is definitely hard to see as that Dig ride rolls right now in the top spot. Looking to try to run away with it is Evan Monaghan, trying to steal position number 2 away from Jeremy Aikens. Aikens doing everything he can to try to keep him back there at bay, but here comes Zach Clark right there as well. Clark in position number 4, and now looking for Morris. He's all over the back bumper here of Jeremy Aikens, trying to work his way through the field, knowing that he wants to be up and into one of these transfer spots. And as of right now, they are stacked up. They are bunched up here as everyone looking for that second position. Unfortunately, everyone is seeing our race leader, Derek Rice, continue to pull farther and farther away. As Rice out in front now by about a second between himself and Jeremy Aikens, so he's got some breathing room and he can kind of sit back, relax a little bit as he sees them duking it out. They're 2-3 wide. Oh man, Aikens almost around. Clark was in the middle and it just did not seem to want to work as Monaghan will slide up into position number 2. Now here comes that P61 of Peacock as Josh working that beautiful Bulletproof Motorsports JP Designs ride into the battle here at the front of the field. Now he's going to work, trying to figure out his way to get around this 7 of Jeremy Aikens, trying to stick with that bottom groove, trying to stay down low here, but a lot of drivers starting to run more of that slide job lane, and they're running out of time. Is down and across the line. That will be only 3 laps left to go here in heat race number 3. And out in front, it is still Derek Rice with the top spot. In our second and final transfer spot is that 13 machine of Evan Monaghan. Monaghan rolls there in that second position. Jeremy Aikens, Zach Clark, our top 4 as Peacock down low, trying to battle here still for that 4th, 5th position, trying to get after that 7 ride of Aikens, but they have ran out of time. As 1 lap left to go for Derek Rice. He's got a 2-second lead. He has set sail. For Evan Monaghan, though, he has got a back bumper full of that 7 ride of Aikens. Aikens looking to try to jump back into position number 2. It'll come down to a drag race to the line, and it is Evan Monaghan who will stay in that second and final transfer spot. So Rice with the heat race win. Monaghan will come home in second. Unfortunately for Aikens, Clark, Peacock, Proud, Cameron Stefanski, Jeremy Vaughn, and Ryan Howard, they will go to our consolation races as we'll get ready for our first Consi here this evening. Our first consolation race of the day. Let's see here how many drivers make it through. They're going to get 15 laps here in the Consis. Rules. There we go. That's what we're looking for. It looks like 10 drivers from each will transfer into the show. So I do believe everybody here, at least in the C main, will work their way into the A main feature event. Now, there may be one unlucky driver or two in our B main that may not make it. We'll have to wait and see how it gets lined up, how it gets stacked up, and see what it looks like here for that B main as well. But here, 10 drivers will work their way into the A main feature event through this consolation race right here. So for all these drivers, you really got nothing to worry about. You're into the show, you're good to go, but you want to advance positions here. If you're the 216 of Jason Calhoun, Jeremy Akins, you want to stay out in front as you're feeling A-OK. If you're Stephen Burrow, Josh Patterson, if you're that 18 of J.C. Floyd, Josh Peacock, maybe Cameron Stefanski back there. You do see Shane Matthews, Evan Stefanski, and Dylan Simmons bringing up the rear of the field. If you're any of those drivers, you want to try to battle and race your way up to the front of the field here. You want to make sure that you are going to be in a good position here to potentially jump up and pick up, you know, maybe a couple good spots, a couple good positions, and put yourself into a better starting spot here when it comes to our A main feature event. As here we go. Our consolation race number 1 here this evening is the 216 of Jason Calhoun. Gonna look to try to keep them all back there at bay. Calhoun out in front. J.C. Floyd, though, working down low, trying to move himself up and into second. We saw how drivers were dealing with trying to make passes there in that third heat race. The racetrack has rolled over. It's a lot of the same. So I think for other drivers, when you look at J.C. Floyd, you look at Peacock back there, you look at Stephen Burrow, some of these drivers may realize that hey, it is tough to pass down low. You may not find anything down on that bottom lane, so you may just want to stick more to this middle to high side groove, and you could hold your line, hold your position, and be A-OK as they're beating and banging back there behind him. Oh man, I think JC realized it. He didn't want to get freight train there with the drivers on the outside lane moving around him, and he's able to force his way up there. Stephen Burrow trying to not cause the caution flag, not trying to put himself into the outside fence too hard. Had to roll out of the throttle, and that allowed the Get Up Bumper Motorsports Consi Floyd Consulting number 18 of JC to jump up into third and into the outside lane for a little bit, but here he is right back down low, trying that inside lane, trying to work his way back around Jeremy Akins as we're 5 laps in to this Consi. 10 laps left to go here in this one. Can Jason Calhoun hold on to it? Can J.C. Floyd work his way up and around Jeremy Akins and maybe go after the 216 for the Consi win? Here comes Josh Patterson right there in that beautiful number 74 as the JPAC graphics machine up and into that 4th position, trying to gain a few more spots here, trying to start a little closer to the front of the field. That's Stephen Burrow, Josh Peacock, both down 1 position. Here is the 33 of Dylan Simmons. He's gained a couple positions, getting around Shane Matthews and Evan Stefanski. Now going to work, trying to figure out a way to get around Cameron Stefanski for position number 7. But the battle's still on here for second, and that's exactly what Jason Calhoun wants to see as we're halfway through this Consi. Is that the 18 ride getting held up here, but it looks like he may have finally cleared Akins down and out of corner number 2, and it looks like for that 18 ride, he's able to jump to the outside lane. Now he's going to be trying some different things, not only trying to keep the 7 and the 74 back there at bay, but going after our race leader for the race lead, and here it comes. Slide jump down through corner 3 and 4, and J.C. Floyd will consume the race lead with only 5 laps left to go. So JC now out in front, has the top spot as Jason Calhoun will look to try to, stop the bleeding here, see if he can keep himself in that 2nd position. But man, Josh Patterson, he's coming. He is working his way up towards the front as well as he's now around Jeremy Akins. He's all over the back bumper of that 216 of Jason Calhoun for position number 2 here on the racetrack. We'll have to wait and see how this one plays out with 3 laps left to go. JC is hoping to just try to run away with it, but man, that 74 ride of Patterson has got the high side rolling, and he is storming his way towards the front of the field here. He's made the pass. He's now into 2nd. Does he have enough time to catch up and make something happen around J.C. Floyd? I think J.C. probably realized that, hey, you know what? The 74 ride starting to go up to that outside lane, or maybe he's just trying to dip his toes in the water, see what it's doing, see how much quicker he may be. He's looking at that relative, and with the white flag being thrown, he's going to roll the outside lane again. He knows that the 74 ride didn't really gain anything on him on that last lap, so he's going to do exactly what he did the lap before. And here, for a final time, at a corner number 4, in our C main, it is J.C. Floyd who will pick up the consolation race win. Josh Patterson, Jason Calhoun, Jeremy Aiken, Stephen Burrow, Josh Peacock, Cameron Stefanski, Dylan Simmons, Shane Matthews, and Evan Stefanski will round out the field there in that C main. Now, for everyone in that C main, top 10 advanced into the show. And this is where it gets tough, because if you had good luck here this afternoon. I mean, as much as it's not lucky having to go to a consolation race, if you were in that C main, you were in the clear. You had no worries at all. You are going to race in the A main feature event, no matter if you got turned around, if you had to exit the racetrack and you were 4 or 5 laps down out there on the speedway. You were going to the A main feature event. But here, for our B main, things are a little bit different. We have 11 drivers that are slotted to jump in to this heat race or consolation race. And it looks like potentially these guys might get a little lucky themselves. So we'll see the 32 of Jacob Stefanski starting in that pole position. Jackie Whaley will start in second. Zach Clark back in third with Jacob Sexton in that Sexton Paint and Body Doghouse Chassis number 101 back in fourth. Starting in position number 5 will be that number 16 JR of Dustin Hennigan. To his outside, the 19 is Dakota Proud. Then we see Will Hargreaves, Ryan Howard, Jim Revis, Jeremy Vaughn bringing up the rear of the field here, and we have one driver that did not make it out onto the racetrack. It's Easton Riedner. Riedner did not make it out, so unfortunately, as we get going here, as we are about to see the green flag fly, he's going to go behind these guys. He's going to lose a lap. We'll have to see if he can join the field, get lucky with a couple caution flags. But as of right now, he's still down pit side. We got 10 drivers out there. 10 drivers will advance into our A main feature event. As Jacob Stefanski will lead us down and out of corner number 4. He will hold on and lead lap number 1 here in this B main. So the 32 out in front, and as they round corner number 2 right there, that will lock Easton Riedner as a lap down. And I do believe for Easton, more than likely, his night is done. He will be the one driver here this evening that will load up his ride and join the fans in the stands here for this A main feature event this afternoon. As Jacob Stefanski out in front, holding down the top spot. Jackie Whaley rolls there in second. Jacob Sexton, Will Hargreaves racing his way up here. Hargreaves already gaining quite a few spots, has worked his way up and into position number 4, and he's going to continue to look for more as he tries to clear that 727 of Zach Clark for that 4th position. Jeremy Vaughn right there with him. Vaughn's trying to work his DWR racing ride up towards the front of the field here. He's already gained 3 positions, as we do see Jim Revis. Oh no, Jumbo Jim down pit side. Unfortunately there for Jimbo, he's going to park it down pit road. Lucky break though for that number 57 is that he's still in the top 10. He will make it into the feature event. He does not have to worry about going home early, except now he's going to have to start from the rear of the field here in our A main this afternoon, which is a tough spot to start a race here at Cedar Lake Speedway. And Stefanski continues to hold on to position number 1 as Jackie Whaley set there in second, with Jacob Sexton rounding out our top 3. Zach Clark there in 4th as he's worked his way back around. Will Hargreaves there, unfortunately not able to work his way around that 727 ride. He passed him a couple times, just could not complete that pass, and unfortunately has to get settled in back here for that 5th position. As Jeremy Vaughn trying to hold on to 6th now as Dustin Hennigan working to his outside. Henny's trying to gain a few more spots. That 16 JR had a golden opportunity. He was right in the mix and in the battle for the championship last season. Unfortunately, I do believe he has already missed a week or two here, and unfortunately hasn't gained a ton of points by not showing up or not racing in these feature events. So for the 16 JR, he's going to be playing catch-up right to the get-go, and that's going to be very, very, very tough to battle back from here, especially when he saw T-Jack and Jeremy Sexton already doing good in their heat races, earning more points right there and starting at the front of the field. For the 16 JR, he's going to be having to start, if he finishes here, towards the rear of the field to mid-pack out there on the racetrack for the A main. As out in front, Jacob Sexton continues to hold on to the race lead here. Sexton looking, or not Sexton, that's Jacob Stefanski, sorry. Jacob Stefanski holding on to the top spot here in that 32 right. Stefanski out in front with Jackie Whaley back there in second. Only 3 laps left to go. Jacob Sexton rolls there in that third position. You starting to see Zach Clark get a little closer to his back bumper here. Clark's kind of reeling him in ever so slightly as the 727 Race On Machine rolls there in that 4th spot as we see Hennigan now going after Will Hargreaves here. Hargreaves trying to hold on to position number 5. Pempy's trying to take it away from him here as Hennigan now kind of rolling that inside lane, trying to find that extra gear to maybe gain that 1 extra starting spot here this afternoon, but we do see that white flag fly. So for Jacob Stefanski, pretty much perfect here in this consolation race. He will round corner 3, and out of 4, he will see the checkered flag fly first. And it is Jacob Stefanski who wins our B main consolation race here this evening. Whaley will come home in second with Jacob Sexton. Zach J. Clark there in 4th. Will Hargraves, Dustin Hennigan, and everyone else there rounding out our field. Unfortunately there for Riedner, he was the only driver not to advance into the A main feature event, as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, and are ready to go back to battle here in just a few more moments. These drivers are going to slide out onto the racetrack. A quick warm-up session and a quick opportunity for us to get a drink, a little bit of a break, but don't go anywhere because you do not want to miss our A main feature event coming up next here in just a couple more moments, man. You guys do not want to miss it, as this is going to be a heck of a show and a great battle and an amazing night of racing action here this evening, as these drivers will get their warm-up in and we'll get a quick little break in here ourselves.
The sun drops low and the lights kick on. Midweek madness till the break of dawn. The boys are back where the clay is slick.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you came in here for a show. Well, here you go as we get ready to set these drivers loose. We get ready to go to battle here this evening as Jim says your trading paints is messed up. Shouldn't be messed up. Everyone's loaded in correctly. See if we can refresh it, chat. Let's see if we can refresh it. Bear with us here. Everyone's going to go plain. We'll see if that loads in any different paint schemes for these drivers, but we'll give it a good look here as we'll get ready to set them loose. We'll get ready to go to battle here this evening as our A-main feature event is about to get underway. 70 laps here for this A-main feature event. That is a lot of time. It's a lot of laps here to try to navigate your way through some traffic, try to work your way up towards the front of the field, so we'll have to wait and see who's going to be able to take advantage of it and who's going to be able to put themselves into the winner's circle here this evening. As out in front, starting in that pole position, it is the 2020 ride of Jeremy Sexton. Jeremy will start in the pole spot here this evening. Starting to his outside will be the JP Designs Dirt Track Junkies number 91 to Tyson Pankow. Starting there in third is Derek Rice in the 357. To his outside, the 8 ride, that is Tyler Jackson. T-Jack will start in fourth. Starting in that fifth spot in the 518, it's Joseph Grandy. The 13 rider, Evan Monaghan, will start in sixth with Jacob Stefanski here, starting in seventh. There we go. It looks like, no, that's not Stefanski. That is the 18 of JC Floyd. Starting in seventh, it is Stefanski to his outside in the 32. Then we see Patterson and Jackie Whaley rounding out our top 10. Jacob Sexton, Zach Clark, Jason Calhoun, Will Hargreaves, Jeremy Akins, Dustin Hennigan, Stephen Burrow, Jeremy Vaughn back there in position number 18. Cameron Stefanski, Ryan Howard, Dylan Simmons, Dakota Proud, Shane Matthews, Evan Stefanski, Jim Revis there in that number 57 ride, and Josh Peacock bringing up the rear of the field as we end all the anticipation with our feature presentation. Is out in front. It is Jeremy Sexton who's got the race lead. He is feeling A-OK here this evening, and he's looking to be that reflection of perfection. He led every single lap in heat race number 1. Now he's looking to lead every single lap here in this A-main feature event. As Brianne Ellington says, I'm about ready for the cold crap to take a hike. I'm out of power till the 1st of February. Oh no, man. Says killing my iRacing lap. Oh yeah, that sucks, brother. 3, 4, 5 days without, without internet or without power, man. That is absolutely wild. That is crazy, and that sucks, man. That absolutely sucks. Our hearts are with you and with so many other people that I know are still without power or internet or, just, the ability to kind of live their lives and do the things that they love to do, including being here on iRacing. Dave Morgan says, let's go Sextons, cheering on all the Sextons here, and right now getting to enjoy Jeremy out in front, continue to lead the way as Pankow trying to hold on to second still out there on the racetrack, but he's got Joseph Grandy and Tyler Jackson both working down to the inside. Pankow's got his hands full because, T-Jack's a tough cookie. You throw in Grandy, who's another great driver out there working to his inside. And right behind them, you look back at J.C. Floyd. You look at Josh Patterson, Jacob Stefanski. You see Derek Rice right there still in that mix in the 357 as he rolls to the outside of that Rice Motorsports machine in that about the 7th spot out there on the racetrack. As a few drivers, unfortunately, fall back early on here this afternoon. When you look at Rice, he's dropped about 3-4 positions out there. Same with Evan Monaghan. And then back a little farther here, you do start to see more drivers moving forward. You look at Zach Clark, who's now up into 11th here. He's gained 3 positions quickly here in this feature event. Will Hargreaves, he's up 4 spots. Hennigan, he's up 4 positions. You look at Jason Calhoun, unfortunately, he's on the opposite end of that and has fallen back 4 spots out there on the racetrack. Some more big movers here. Vaughn up 4 spots. Brian Howard up 5. Dakota Proud up 6 positions. Evan Stefanski in the 22. He's up 5 spots. Unfortunately, here we see Stephen Burrow signing back 6 positions on the racetrack. You look at Dylan Simmons, Josh Peacock back there as well. And it looks like Jacob Sexton is out of this race. Oh no, one Sexton at the front doing a great job. The other Sexton no longer out there on the speedway, and unfortunately, I'm not sure if it's an internet connection issue or a power issue, but nonetheless, Jacob Sexton all of a sudden finds himself no longer out there on the speedway for a driver that's been continuously one of our hard chargers, battling his way up through the field and having some really good runs and some great finishes and building together a great season so far. Now sits back in that 26th spot on the racetrack, down 14 spots, and unfortunately, his night is basically going to be over here. I don't think we're going to have 11 or 12 caution flags here. Now he's about 12 laps, 11 laps down, that he's going to be able to build those laps back up and get those caution flags and lucky dogs or anything else to get himself back into the battle. So kind of made his bed and now has to lay in it with, I don't know what issue may have transpired for him, but unfortunately no longer out there on the speedway. But for Jeremy Sexton, his old man, he's out in front. Jeremy leads the way as Jacob says, power failure issue in my computer. Oh no, brother. Oh no, that is rough, especially when it comes to PC issues. If it's house power or if it's internet, man, that is that's one thing, you know, that's kind of out of your control. It's kind of something that you know, will be fixed by somebody else, but when it comes to a PC failure part, that's something that, you know, you gotta fix. It's something you gotta pay for. That's a heartbreaker, brother. That is tough, man, especially after, you know, just under 2 laps here in this one. Gonna sit back and watch it, says Jacob Sexton. Yeah, that's all you can do at this point now, brother. I mean, that is a heartbreaker for you, man. That is a heartbreaker for you. Is out in front, though. Jeremy Sexton continues to lead the way. T-Jack there in second. This is first and second in our point standings. So for right now, the Selena truck stop. Number 8 rider, Tyler Jackson, he's trying to work his way up to the point here. Now, let's see if we can get a look here, because he's got a special character on board with him this afternoon. Can't quite tell from here. It's a little too far away. Well, we see our first caution flag here. We might be able to get a quick sneak peek at it. Let's see if we can get a good look here at the special thing he's got on the hood here. Is this beautiful paint scheme by the J-Pat Graphics Group, but that is the part of my language. It's the Piss Jug Man, and if you guys are, you know, a part of that Selena Truck Stop 52, you know, Facebook page and their memes and everything else that they, you know, throw out there, man, you know, they really put together some pretty funny things, and P Jug Man, he's one of them. So we'll have to keep an eye on that 8 ride, see if he can keep it shiny side up and keep that man right on board with him here this evening. But let's take a look back and see what brings out our first caution flag of the day, as it looks like Evan Monaghan in that 13 machine going to run into some issues here. Let's take a look here. So the 13E right here is just rolling inside our top 10 there, 3 wide down and out of corner number 2, and unfortunately end up 3 wide right here. I'm not sure if Monaghan comes up or if they just kind of run out of room, a racing deal back there deeper in the field, but obviously they're trying to slanks and dinks their way through here, and it just looks like, yeah, Zach Clark, nowhere for him to go. He's ran out of room up into the outside fence. Monaghan just not giving him a whole lot of room there, and unfortunately going to pay the price for it. Ends up with some pretty solid contact and damage into the outside fence, and unfortunately going to get into it again right there as well. So a couple heavy licks there for that 13 ride, as he'll probably go to the back of the pack. We'll see if the number 727 went back there as well. Does not look like it, but we do see the green flag come back out, and a big restart there as it allows the 18 of JC Floyd to work his way up and into position number 2. So JC gets around T-Jack. Tyler Jackson falls back into that 3rd position out there on the racetrack, and unfortunately now for T-Jack, you know, he's a couple spots behind the driver he's trying to chase here for the championship. This could be another good swing in favor of Jeremy Sexton here to gain some good points between himself and that 8 ride of T-Jack here throughout this race. And already 22 laps in, you know, we're quickly clicking them off, man. These drivers can pound the laps back here in a quick hurry. Only about 16 seconds to navigate your way around this racetrack. It'll get slower as the track continues to change, continues to get slicker and slicker out there, but it'll probably stick somewhere around that 16, 17 seconds thirds a lap, in which case they can click him off in a quick hurry, but under caution, it's not that quick, as here we go. They're stacking up back here, and there is the caution flag. Dustin Hennigan pointed the wrong direction. We saw it there just out of the corner of our eye. Some beating and banging, some tight battling between him and Derek Rice, and all of a sudden, Dustin Hennigan, he's turned around, pointed the wrong direction. Let's take a look at it here, see what happens. So Hennigan trying to keep himself in the battle, trying to keep himself up here, slides up and tries to clear that 47 of Jackie Whaley, and unfortunately right there just does not clear this 49 ride. So let's take another look at it. So right here, you're going to watch him slide up across the nose of the 47, the NFG machine. And unfortunately, they make contact. It kind of janks up, knocks that rear end loose of the 16 JR. For Hennigan, he's virtually sideways and sideways parked there in the middle of the racetrack. Rice can't get under the binders quick enough, runs into him. They're both sideways now on the racetrack, and that's where they start to pile in. You look at Will Hargraves in there, heavy contact for that Grumpy Graphics DWR Dirt Panda machine as he gets a pretty good lick into it. Derek Rice with some pretty solid damage, and Jackie Whaley getting some good damage in that as well, but another quick caution flag, and they're going to start to stack up here. Cautions breeding cautions, and every time we bring these drivers, you know, nose to tail and door to door out there on the speedway, it just runs that risk of cautions breeding cautions and more chaos to unfold out there on the racetrack, as we'll get ready to see another restart, see what happens here, see who can navigate and race their way up and into the victory lane here at Cedar Lake Speedway. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you guys are just tuning in, if you haven't already, make sure you guys do us a favor. Hit the like button on the stream right now for us. Hit that subscribe button as here we go back to green flag racing. As Jeremy Sexton looking to hold on to the top spot, JC Floyd hoping to help his teammate here. The Cocky Floyd Consulting rides 1 and 2 on the racetrack, and that's another big thing as we talked about the points battle between Jeremy Sexton and Tyler Jackson. If Jeremy can have a teammate in the likes of JC Floyd jump up here and finish behind him, not only does it make him feel a little bit more confident, a little bit more comfortable out there, knowing that it's a teammate on his back bumper and not one of his fellow competitors here for that championship, that gives him a little extra breathing room, but it also gives him another car to kind of block, to hold off any hard charges late in this race, and it also gives him an opportunity to just try to gain that extra couple points for T-Jack or any of these other drivers finishing not 1 but 2 spots back behind the 2020. So for Jeremy Sexton, he's sitting in a good position, but we know JC Floyd, he's a very, very tough competitor, man. He has won some of the biggest races here in the iRacing dirt world. And for the 18 machine, back in these dirt street stocks, this is kind of his bread and butter. This is really what kind of, you know, got his career underway. And for the 18 ride, he's not going to probably want to sit back. He wants to win this race as much as everyone else out there. Even though he may not be in it for the points, he may not be in it for the championship, I know he's in it for the checkered flag. So I think for JC, it's going to be a real tough decision, especially late in this race, on what he wants to do. Do you stay in line? Do you help your teammate out, the driver that you've coached and built and helped, you know, get better week after week after week, and allow Jeremy Sexton to potentially win this race and build more of a championship lead? Or does he jump up and steal this checkered flag away from him to put another win under his belt in his historic iRacing career? They got to be careful, though. One slip up, one mistake. T-Jack, Tyson Pankow, Joseph Grandy, they'll be right there ready to pounce, and so won't the rest of the field, as we do see another caution flag fly, our third caution flag now on the day, as the 32 of Jacob Stefanski, looks like he's going to run into some issues here a little deeper in the field for Jacob, as he had fallen back quite a ways, and they start to stack up here in front of him as they start to beat and bang and bounce around. Unfortunately, he kind of just runs into the back end here of the 21 right there, loses the nose, spins down the racetrack right into the lap of Dylan Simmons. And look at that 33 ride, man. Simmons can't catch a break. Contact there, you know, battling for a transfer spot in the first heat race. Went from, you know, battling for that transfer spot to all of a sudden at the rear of the field. And then here in the feature event, He's just trying to keep his nose clean, and all of a sudden, here comes the 32 right into his lap, and as the car gets straightened out, unfortunately, he's carrying too much speed, too much momentum, and he can't quite get stopped in time. It ends up running into that tire barrier down the inside wall and creating more damage on that 33 machine. So a tough break there for Dylan Simmons as he now finds himself down pit side trying to get that damage repaired. We also saw Jeremy Akins also leave the server here. So Jeremy Akins also off the racetrack and potentially out of this race. The 7 Ryan only got in about 13.77 laps, so that's not even a full lap right there. It's not like he went down pit road or anything else, so potentially another driver running into, PC issues, internet issues, power issues, and no longer out there on the racetrack, as we do see the 2020 of Jeremy Sachs. Another great restart. It is a dogfight back here behind him. 3, 4 wide. Everyone's trying to inch their way towards the front. Everybody knows that this may be a vital race to try to pick up some major points and try to battle your way into a better position when it comes to our point standings. And when you look at drivers that, had a bad run last week, we lose another one. There goes the 216 of Jason Calhoun. Where'd he go? He's disappeared. Where is he? There he is. He's on pit road entry down and off the racing surface here. But for Jason Calhoun, man, this is some tight battling. Let's take a look and see what happens. So he's the car in the middle here. That black, pink, and white car. And unfortunately right here, looks like maybe gets up the track a little bit. I'm not sure if he realized that the 19 ride of Dakota Proud was there to his right rear quarter panel. Moves up ever so slightly, trying to get a better angle into corner number 1. Unfortunately, they make contact. They go around. The 19's getting shoved in farther by the 16 ride, and eventually the 216 goes around in, and then he backs it right up over the fence right there. Luckily enough, keeps it on all 4 tires, but man, unfortunate break there for Jason Calhoun, looking to have himself a solid day today as well. We'll now find him at the back of the pack, ready to rumble, ready to go back to green flag racing, as we're about halfway through this feature event, ladies and gentlemen. 37 laps completed. I do believe as we go back to green flag racing, they will complete lap number 38. I feel like that's the way that's probably going to bounce back here. I think SDK, for some reason lately, has been counting caution laps, and then after we go back to green flag racing, it reverts it. So we'll have to wait and see how that kind of gets played out. But as of right now, for the 2020 of Jeremy Sexton, he's still got the race lead. He's feeling A-OK, and another big restart there for that beautiful EJR Conky Floyd Consulting 2020 ride. But it is T-Jack who got a great launch, a good restart. He's still trying to work to the inside of that 18 of JC Floyd, trying to put himself back up into position number 2 here on the racetrack. And as of right now, just can't quite find enough. The battle still door to door with him as Joseph Grandy rolls there in position number 4. And now look out, Tyson Pankow. They're all going to start bouncing around Pankow with some pretty solid contact right there. And unfortunately, he's going to fall right to the rear of the field. No caution flag as no one went around, and I don't know how they didn't, because Pankow, he was virtually sideways right there. Looks like him and the 727 again, another instance where the outside lane gets a big run. 70 or 727, 91, they run out of room. Pankow kind of comes up, they get hooked together. Now Pankow's trying to save it. Zach Clark's not trying to run him over or cause a caution flag, but then they get together again, and then everyone else starts to pile into this. And unfortunately for Tyson Pankow, he just kind of gets ran over, ends up with some pretty solid damage, and goes to the rear of the field there. Heartbreaker for the 91 ride, having himself a pretty solid start to this feature event. Is out in front, it is once again Jeremy Sexton and JC Floyd, 1 and 2 out there on the speedway. Tyler Jackson rolls back there in position number 3 with Joseph Joseph Grandy and Josh Patterson now rounding out our top 5. JPEG Graphics, number 74 machine, looking strong here this evening. Looked really, really good in his Consi. Looking really good here in this feature event as well. Seems like he's got that outside lane figured out, and he's got that 74 once again hooked up and rolling that outside lane here at Cedar Lake Speedway. Will Hargreaves, though, he's trying to join this battle as he sees Patterson and Grandy now duking it out for 4th and 5th. He'd love to poke his nose into this hunt at the front as he's gained 10 positions since the start of this race and now sits in 6th as Jackie Whaley back in 7th. Jeremy Vaughn's there in 8th, and then we see Dustin Hennigan and Evan Stefanski rounding out our top 10 as the caution flag comes back out. This time it's Cameron Stefanski. Cameron in that PJNFB Sunrise Racing Steve's Lawn Care number 2 machine. Gonna run into some problems here. Now this is just inside our top 10. They roll behind. This is probably about for the 9th position, and again it just seems like also exactly what we saw between Zach Clark and the number 91 of Tyson Pankow. See if we get another angle at it. As you're going to see one driver kind of just run in the middle, another driver on the outside lane as they exit the corner. Durine gets straightened out. Unfortunately, leaves no room for the 16 JR. They get hooked together. And for Hennigan, he's got really nowhere to go. And his only option to make the corner is to turn left. And as he turns left, unfortunately, it spins Stefanski around and ends up running into another Stefanski's Evan. Nowhere to go. Ends up into the outside fence. Pretty solid damage there for him. And, oh, Derek Rice. Nowhere to go for the Rice machine as Derek just all of a sudden has this number 2 ride parked right onto his left. Bam, right there. Heavy, heavy hit, tough contact for both drivers, and including heavy contact and damage for Hennigan and for the 22 of Evan Stefanski. As here we go. We'll get them stacked up, racked up, back to green flag racing as Jeremy Sexton. Another good restart. Here comes T-Jack down low. He wants 2nd. He knows that the points are going to be tight here this season, and he needs to stay as close as he can to that 2020 ride. He does not want to let Jeremy Sexton, get even more of a points lead. But he's going to get another opportunity at it as here we go. Caution flag is back out. We saw Evan Stefanski. We saw Ryan Howard, Stephen Burrow. A bunch of these drivers get tied together here. 3-4 wide. A lot of times just does not work, and unfortunately we're going to see it right here. 22 tries to cut down the racetrack. The 4 right sends it in there a little deeper, runs over him, and then all of a sudden as the 4X runs into the 22, the 32 runs over him. The 45 right doesn't realize that they're all checking up for the half-spun race cars. He slams into the 32. Look at Pankow down and across the infield tires there, doing some catwalks here this afternoon. That's got to be not so good for the undercarriage of the 91 ride, but nonetheless, he goes for a little bit of a hop, skip, and a jump down low to avoid running into more of these drivers. And unfortunately, a few more. Some pretty solid damage there, some pretty solid contact, and we may see more of them head down pit side. And unfortunately, look like Derek Rice has taken his car down pit road here and may be down there for an extended period of time. Looks like he's gonna be able to roll back out. I do believe he may be scored as a lap down. We'll have to wait and see how the scoring works. Same with Ryan Howard in that number 4 machine. For Evan Monaghan and I do believe Zach Clark, Dylan Simmons, looks like their nights have come to a close as well. So we start with 26. We're down to 21 rolling on the racetrack with Derek Rice being scored at the rear of the field as we'll get them all ready to rumble, ready to go to battle once again. Is man, Jeremy Sexton going to be looking for a big restart here, especially as T-Jack was given that 2nd spot. He elected to use the outside lane, so we'll have to wait and see if he can hold off J.C. Floyd and keep the 18 ride back there at bay, or if T-Jack can jump up here, stay in 2nd, and try to go after Jeremy Sexton for the race win here this evening. As they are about to click off lap number 47 here this evening. You still look back there, they're still running 3-4 wide deep throughout the field. field. Everyone trying to work their way up to the point. Some drivers trying to battle back. Other drivers just trying to get their name into the battles here at the front of the field as you look at Will Hargreaves. Splitting them, 3, almost 4 wide there, down through corner number 3 and 4, and it's getting racy in a quick hurry. You see Hannigan bouncing off the outside fence right there. Pretty solid contact for that 16 JR, and he's hoping that, he doesn't get into the wall too many more times, as that could start to cause penalties here post-race for the 16 ride. And for a driver that's going to be looking to try to gain back a ton of points throughout this, afternoon and throughout this season, does not need any penalties here, taking those points away from him. But out in front, looking to try to stretch the points lead, it is that 2020 of Jeremy Sexton who's got the top spot. You see T-Jack right there with him, but so isn't JC Floyd, and that's going to be the hard thing here for Tyler Jackson. He knows and he wants to get around this 2020 for the race win, knowing that it would allow him not only to gain some points on Jeremy here for the points championship, but at the same point in time, you start to make too many moves, you start to put yourself into bad positions. It may open up the door for the 18 ride, JC Floyd, to get around you. Now you throw in the 16 of Dustin Hannigan as well, as Hannigan has just drove his way up here. Look at Jeremy Vaughn as well. Vaughn up and inside the top 5. Jeremy with a heck of a run in that DWR JRE Wheeler Metals WR1 machine, as he's jumped up now into that 5th position and inside the top 5. He's got Will Hargreaves, his DWR teammate, right there with him. But man, some great runs, some great drives here this evening. We do see the caution flag come back out. Looks like Evan Stefanski. They're running into some more issues here. Let's take a look at the Sunrise Racing WB Creative Design. Steve's lawn care machine there, 3-4 wide. Coming out of corner number 4, and yeah, they just get tight together. Man, Derek Rice ends up back into it again as well. And unfortunately for the 22 ride, I don't know if this was really much of his own fault here. They're 3-4 wide. The 21 kind of gets a little bit loose there. Peacock tries to get underneath of him. The 22 kind of just slides up into the door of that 61. And then as he's losing all that speed and momentum, trying to catch the handle of his race car, that's where he's going to run into more issues, because it looks like, yeah, it's the 57 of Jim Rivas right here. Jim not expecting him to lose that much speed or momentum and to kind of move down the track there a little bit. Gets into him there as well. Same with the 4X. Here comes the 216 ride of, I do believe that's the 216 ride of Mr. Jason Calhoun. And then obviously you saw that 357 ride also getting back into it as well. So for Derek Rice, more contact there for him. And unfortunately for a bunch of these drivers, man, some pretty big hits, a lot of tore up race cars, and a lot of drivers that are probably not having the nights that they were hoping for here at Cedar Lake Speedway. But for one right now, so far it's been perfect for him, as he has been that reflection of perfection. Jeremy Sexton continues to lead the way. Jeremy out in front. He is feeling A-okay. He continues to lead the way here this evening, and man, he's hoping that he can hold these guys off. He can keep them back there at bay for, another, 15 laps next time by. The start finish line is nice and easy. Down through 3 and out of 4, back down across the line. They complete lap number 55. It is 15 laps left to go. If you've got anything left in the tank, this is your time to strike. You gotta go now. You gotta start making moves, especially if you're outside of the top 10, outside the top 5. You gotta take advantage of every single lap here late in this race. And if you're Tyler Jackson, you're into the same position again. You want to try to go after Jeremy Sexton for the race win, but if you make a mistake, if you slip up, give up the preferred lane, or potentially slide a little bit out there on the racetrack, the 16 rider Dustin Hannigan's going to be right there, ready to pounce, ready to steal that second spot away from you. JC Floyd will shove his nose into it, and so won't Will Hargreaves here late in this race as well. Once again, rounds out our top 5 as Patterson back up into 6th. Jeremy Vaughn slides back into 7th with Jackie Whaley, Jacob Stefanski, and Joseph Grandy trying to hang on to the top 10 here this evening. Unfortunately for Grandy, kind of stuck in that bottom lane, and there's just not a whole lot left down there. Looks like the outside lane becoming the preferred lane once again. And that's kind of where everyone's finding this speed right now. And for the 518 ride, it's not working out too well for him down low. But trying to hang on to a top 10 here this evening. But trying to hang on to the race lead down and across the line. It'll be 10 laps left to go here for Jeremy Sexton. So for Jeremy, 10 more laps until he can see that checkered flag fly. He just wants to see it stay clean and green. I don't think, maybe he wouldn't mind a caution flag or two. He tends to get a good enough jump that it gives him a lap or two of a break here. Maybe he would feel a little bit more confident with that. As here we go, slide jump out of Tyler Jackson. T-Jack goes for the slider. Now he falls back, and here comes that 16 of Dustin Hennigan. Hennigan's gonna run him up the racetrack here for T-Jack. Just enough room to hang on to position number 2, but Hennigan again gonna pinch him up high, and this is exactly what Jeremy Sexton wanted to see. Is now they battle here for that second position. T-Jack falls back into third, and Dustin Hennigan now into position number 2, but here we go. T-Jack's gonna pay it back. He slides the 16, Henny with a great crossover. T-Jack's gotta be careful though. The 18 ride of JC Floyd's right there, ready to pounce, ready to steal potentially that third position away from Tyler Jackson here this evening, and that would really kill a ton of points here for the 8 ride and give a ton back to Jeremy Sexton here in the point standings in race number, I do believe 3 now, or potentially 4 on the season, but here we go. Clicking them off. 5 laps left to go. Hennigan's looking to make some moves. Here comes Pepe. Slide jump on our race leader. Door to door. Back down the back straightaway. For Jeremy Sexton, you'll pay it back here in 3 and 4. And Hennigan going to look to try to get another big run, another big drive. Look to cut back down the racetrack and pull another slider down in through corner number 1 and 2. Now he's just hoping that he can stay kind of door to door. Maybe try to keep that 20-20 ride from sliding back in front of him here on one of these exchanges, down through 1 and 2 and back down through 3 and 4. Right now they just continue to switch spots, but they're on the opposite sides of the racetrack. If the front straightaway was right there, if the checkered flag was to be thrown down the backstretch, then the 16 JR may be in a good spot. But here we go, he gets the run he was looking for, door to door across the line, and we get a new race leader. That time by the start-finish line, it is Dustin Hennigan who's able to lead lap number 68 here this evening. Now goes for another big slider. Here we go. Here comes T-Jack right into the picture, back down across the line. The white flag will be displayed for Dustin Hennigan. Does Hennigan have enough left in the tank to potentially put himself up and into victory lane here this evening? Jeremy Sexton's going to try to keep T-Jack back there at bay as Pepe down and out of corner number 4. It will be Dustin Hennigan who will pick up the win here this evening. A late race charge, and for Pepe, he's able to battle his way not only around Tyler Jackson and JC Floyd, but around Jeremy Sexton to put himself up and into victory lane. Man, what a run and what a drive for the DDR Hennigan Racing Machine, as Dustin Hennigan in the 16 JR gets to celebrate here at Cedar Lake Speedway, picking up tonight's win in the Dirt Warrior Racing League's Wednesday night street fights. As Hennigan is able to celebrate, is ready to party hard here this evening. Jeremy Sexton comes home in second. As much as it stings losing the race, he still gained another couple points there between himself and Tyler Jackson. So for the points lead for Jeremy, at least that's looking good for him. For T-Jack, I'm not sure if he's going to be happy or upset about coming home in third. At least he didn't lose any more points late in this race to that 2020 ride, as we'll get ready to pull our top 3 up and into the broadcast booth here for some post-race interviews. Post-race interviews about to come up next, and we'll get these drivers into the booth, man, for what is going to be an amazing post-race interviews. As James Beaver says, good race, guys. Great race, great battles out there, man. These guys put together an absolutely amazing show, absolutely amazing race. And don't go anywhere. And if you haven't already, make sure you guys do us a favor. Hit the like button on the stream for us right now. Hit that thumbs up button for us. Hit that subscribe button as well. Become part of the PeaceMaker family here today. Jump into the comment section. Let us know what you thought of the broadcast. as we get ready to pull our top three up and into the booth here for some post-race interviews. We see Jeremy's jumped in there. We're waiting for Dustin Hennigan to get in here as well, our race winner. You have to slide into the booth. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull in our second place finisher first here. With Hennigan still not in here, we'll wait for him. Oh, there he is. Okay, Hennigan is in here now. Okay, so Henny is in here. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up for our race winner, the young blood here this season. Yeah, 16, JR, Dustin Hennigan, our race winner here this evening, up into the booth. Hey, Dustin, it's Aaron up here in the PeaceMaker Broadcasting booth. You get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Dustin, man, what a run, what a race, man. Take us back through that one, because you guys put on a heck of a show for us. Obviously, a few caution flags out there. That's to be expected, man. This track gets so slicked off, the tires fading away, and 3, 4, 5 wide battles out there. You know, it's tough to avoid a little bit of contact and a few spins here this evening. And for yourself, you kind of got tied up into a couple of them, trying to battle your way back up through the field, but it didn't really seem to affect your race car, because late in this race, that 16 was flying, and you were moving your way to the front of the field in a quick hurry. And once you got there, man, you started to make those moves. You worked your way around J.C. Floyd, Tyler Jackson, and Jeremy Sexton in the closing laps to put yourself up here into victory lane at Cedar Lake Speedway, man. Take us back through it. What's going through your mind after an amazing race here this evening?
Yeah, we started 18th and was making our way up through the field, and I knew I was fast. And then I got in that wreck, and then I went to the rear, came back up and won it. But yeah, I had a rocket. I already hear people saying I'm wall riding and stuff, so I don't know what they're gonna do for penalty wise, but I really don't think I was wall riding. I was hitting the cushion right, sliding up into it. But we can go to Lernerville where there's no wall, and I feel like I can do the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, any racetrack that we tend to see you out there on, you're a threat to be up here and battling for the race win, and take us through that battle. Obviously, you know, we start to see Tyler Jackson. He wants to start making moves to try to steal this race win, or at least the spot away from Jeremy Sexton, and you're the benefit of it, because as he starts to move around, it opens up enough of a gap between that 8 and 2020 ride that you're able to start pulling the trigger there and working your way around T-Jack, and it did not take you long to, you know, make the move, get around that 8 ride, and it gave you just enough time to kind of, you know, figure things out, figure out a way to get around Jeremy Sexton, with you guys battling back and forth, slide jumps, you know, to each other on opposite ends of the racetrack, and finally you're able to get a big enough run down through 3 and 4 that you're able to stay to his outside. He can't slide up in front of you, and that's all you needed to put this race into the history books.
Yeah, that last restart, started on the outside and got around JC right there, and I was right there behind T Jack and Sexton, and I saw there was one lap I kind of threw it in there to try to throw like a little test slider, see how much I can go in the slide, what not to do, and then a couple more laps I got back on T Jack, and I was just waiting. I knew with the laps ticking down, he was going to have to make a move sooner, and right when he made the move, I tried to make a move on him so I can get the Sexton. And then once I got around T-Jack, kind of got the Sexton in 2 laps, and then I made a move on him and tried to get in a slider battle where we had to slow each other down and just see who can hit it the best, the slider line.
Yeah, absolutely. And in there, you're just hitting it perfectly. Not a whole lot of mistakes. A little bit of beating and banging there as you guys were door to door down and across the line. As Jeremy did not want to give up not only the race lead, but an extra, you know, bunch of points into his back pocket here for that championship. Now, I do believe you missed a race or the first 2 races here of the season. So obviously, you're going to be playing catch up here, trying to work your way, you know, through the points here and trying to put yourself into another good points finish like you did last season.
Yeah, I'm actually started college, and on Wednesday nights I got classes. So this week we had an off week, so I was able to jump in here and be able to run with these guys. And yeah.
Oh, Well, that's the reason why. I mean, that's a good reason not to be out there on a weekly basis, man. Is getting a higher education, becoming a good young man, and just learning and getting a career is never a bad thing. But man, when it comes to iRacing, each and every single time we see you out there, man, always putting on a show, always putting on a great race for the fans of the stands. And again here tonight, you do it again as you park yourself back up and into victory lane. Dustin, who'd you like to thank for another amazing performance out there on the speedway?
You for broadcasting this, everybody that makes this league possible for where we can jump in here and run some races. Definitely iRacing for giving us mirrors. I wish some people race without mirrors and know when there's cars high. So yeah, and Zach Clark for pumping me up to get back in this thing.
Absolutely. Shout out there to Mr. Clark. Obviously, he was hoping to have a good run here himself tonight. Did not get as lucky, or did not get the finish that he was hoping for. But I'm sure he's pretty pumped watching you be able to park yourself up and in victory lane here this evening. Dustin, congrats on the win. And hopefully, we'll see you back here for a couple more times throughout this season. If you get a couple more weeks off here and there from college, and hopefully we'll see you right back up here in the broadcast booth. Dustin, congrats on the win. Congrats on the great race. We can't wait to see you back out there on the racetrack.
Thank you. Hope we're available for Lernerville.
Absolutely, man. We can't wait to see you out there, and enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy the rest of your week, and hopefully, learn some good things, and we'll see you back out there when we can.
Sir.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner, Dustin Hennigan. Mr. Silly getting himself, becoming a smart guy, getting a college education. Big guy on campus over there, especially tonight after a big win. But man, heck of a show, heck of a race there for Hennigan, man. Nothing for the best for the young lad as we'll get ready to pull in our second place finisher, the driver that led the most laps here this evening. He was out in front for, I don't know, what do you want to say there? 67 laps, 66 laps here this evening. Jeremy Sexton held down the point, unfortunately. Came up just a little bit shy here this evening. Let's get him up here into the booth. Hey, Jeremy, it's Aaron up here in the PeaceMaker Broadcasting booth to get a copy.
Yes, sir.
Jeremy, man, heck of a run. Great show from you here tonight as you were able to lead virtually, 97% of this race. Unfortunately, the last couple laps, that 16 JR able to find his way around you after some heavy battle in there. Crossover slide jobs, you guys were going to battle. Throw T-Jack right into that mix. JC's right there ready to pounce. And unfortunately, late in this one, he's able to get the run that he was looking for out at corner number 4 to stay to your outside. And after he kind of got that outside lane down through 1 and 2, that's all she wrote for you. You had to fall back in line and did not have time to strike back to try to steal this win back away from him here this evening. But take us back through it and through this race. Obviously, a few restarts and then some tight battle in there late in this race.
I just started out, thankfully, got a good heat draw, was able to capitalize on that. T-Jack had a little bad luck. I hate that for him. I think he got caught in a little wreck in the heat, messed his car up some, but he still managed to finish top 2. Then the feature basically was just trying to get as many bonus points as possible. JC come and race tonight, and I figured once we made halfway, that would give me the bonus points for the most laps led, that he would blow by me. But I think the track had started moving at that point, and kind of missed opportunity trying to help me out there with the bonus points. So I definitely, got to thank him for that. Instead of trying to pressure me and make me burn my car up early, he, was patient with me. Um, and then there at the end, we just seemed like we just kept having cautions munching us back up. I knew T-Jack would be there at the end, but I knew Dustin got in a wreck earlier. So when he comes sliding in front of me, I didn't expect to see him there at that time, to be honest. He's always a threat, though. So hats off to him, man, because I know he went to the back at least one time and come back through there, and that's no easy feat.
Yeah, absolutely. Trying to battle back through some of that chaos and carnage and not trying to, earn any more X's or penalties or anything along the way is not an easy task. And here late in this race, he's able to just make those big moves, work his way around some of these drivers, especially with those late race restarts, and it works into his favor because he had just enough time to get around JC, around T-Jack, and around yourself to put himself up and into victory lane. But for yourself, still a very solid second place run. You got a lot of bonus points here this evening, and at the same point in time, you still held Tyler Jackson back there at base. So you gained some points on him in the heat race and here in the feature event. It's going to make you feel a little bit better that you're able to, stretch out that 16-point gap that you had coming into this feature event.
Yeah, me and T-Jack, we talk pretty often, and we both said going into this deal with the way the bonus points are this season compared to last, that it's going to really come down to bonus points for the most part, as well as, the last 2 weeks, we see people that normally hadn't been running the first couple races start popping in, like Hennigan, Floyd. Last week, you had Payne Cow and Surratt, Ty Ralph. So you never know who's going to join at any time. Last year, Massey joined kind of late in the season, so it's going to keep everybody on their toes and uh, be a good fun race anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. And whenever we see those, non-points players kind of jump in here and become a little bit of a nuisance, and sometimes it works into your favor, sometimes it hurts you out there. Here tonight, it looked like maybe that's the way it was going to play out. Throughout the majority of this race, we saw you kind of lean the way. You had your teammate there, JC, kind of right on your back bumper, and it gave you that extra little bit of a gap between yourself and Tyler Jackson. I know you'd love to finish that way, 1 and 2 with JC there on your back bumper. Just did not play it that way here late in this race with all those caution flags. But I mean, still a great show and a great run there. And I'm quite surprised. I thought for certain, if there wasn't those bonus points, that JC was going to just try to get away from you and try to, run away with this race. I wasn't sure if he was going to sit back and just allow you to win this one, as I know he's a fierce competitor. And even though you're in the points battle, he's not going to be one to just lay over and give it up.
No, he we at some point close to the middle of the race, I made a comment. I was like, "Well, I just need a few more laps before you blow my doors off." And he just kind of laughed. He's like, "Wow, what's up?" And I told him about the bonus point deal. He's like, "All right, well." About that time, I started running a little different line. He's like, "Well, I guess you're running the same line now, so I don't know how I'm gonna get by you without knocking you out the way, and I'm not gonna do that." So, um, I don't know, man. I hate, that he was patient there with me because he could have passed me earlier on. Obviously, he was faster. But I would do the same for him as I would anybody else that I race with. And late, I got into Hennigan that one time, so I really wanted to check up. I didn't want any points docked for over aggressive driving or anything. And second is better than wrecking on 2 laps to go or whatever. He doesn't have anything to lose. He's there for the win. So I got to try to keep in my mind to race smart, and it's not all about the win necessarily, but capitalizing on points.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, late in these races or even early on in them, you always got to be thinking in the back of your mind of the big picture here, and that is battling and trying to keep yourself in the points lead and continuing the battle for this championship here in Season 22 of the Wednesday Night Street Fights. Jeremy, a great run, a great drive for you, and you extend that points lead here this afternoon. Who would you like to thank, though, for another great performance out there on the racetrack?
Thank God, first and foremost. JC with Cocky Floyd Consulting, obviously. He's been helping me now for probably like a year and a half. And none of us would be where we're at without him. Jordan Gage has helped me a ton. Ethan Johnson, Caden Reynolds, Philip, Jacob, Seth, Derek, um, James Ellington now races with us a lot. Everybody that races in the kennel with us, Steven Stokes, my buddy Dave watches the broadcast, my dad, my wife, um, just everybody that supports us doing this. You doing the broadcast, of course, Jim and all of his guys with the league. Hats off to Hennigan again, man. He's one of the best in these cars, and he showed it last year. I said all along that that was the most impressive um, season you could probably have, winning that many races out of 12. So he definitely showed he's a force to reckon with, and just come up one short tonight. I kind of feel like Jacob last week getting nudged out with a couple to go, so I guess I can't rag him anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. But man, heck of a run, heck of a drive here tonight at Cedar Lake Speedway. Jeremy, congrats on a great run, great performance, man. And we can't wait to see you guys back in action again next Wednesday night. See if you can park yourself right back up here in the broadcast booth, maybe one spot better, and back up into victory lane yourself.
Thank you, sir. You have a good night.
You as well. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our second place driver, Mr. Jeremy Sexton, as Jeremy comes home in position number 2 here this evening. Heck of a run, heck of a drive there for him as we'll get ready to pull in our third place finisher, Tyler Jackson. Hey, T-Jack, it's Aaron up here in the booth. Do you get a copy?
What's up, Aaron?
Not much. Tyler, man, great run, great race, man. Obviously some tight battles there at the front of the field all evening long when it came, between you, JC, Jeremy Sexton, and late in this race with Dustin Hennigan throwing his name right into the ringer there as he's able to battle his way around you as you try to start battling there with Jeremy for the race lead. He's able to take advantage of not only yourself but that 2020 ride and steal this win away from at least Jeremy and yourself here this afternoon. But man, it was a heck of a show and a heck of a battle there, between you guys and there behind you guys all night long, putting on a great show for all the fans of the stands, man. Take us back through it and what's going through your mind after 70 laps of racing action.
Yeah, it started out, thought it started out good with a pill draw of 3, and then I saw Jeremy got a 2 in the same heat, and yeah, we got squeezed up in the wall in the heat and knocked the right front all out of whack. So that pretty much gave us no shot at winning the heat, and let Jeremy start on the pole and put us in 4th. So I knew probably be a bad points night. So I was just looking at him, and somehow Jeremy didn't get the fastest lap, which is, I think that's worth like 4 points. So we're lucky he didn't get that, but he got points for leading the lap. He got points for leading the most laps, and yeah, the only saving grace is he got passed there at the end by Hennigan. But yeah, just it's been tough. I haven't scored any bonus points really. It's tough to run with some of these guys that show up here and there, and they can just throw caution to the wind. I know a couple of those times Jeremy really checked up hard for Hennigan, and we're just trying not to get penalties and screw ourselves in the point. So Hennigan kind of could throw it to the wind and see what caught, and the same thing with JC. They don't show up all the time, so when they show up, they're there to win, and that's about it. And yeah, Dustin got it done.
Yeah, Dustin picking it up and putting himself into victory lane here tonight. And as he said, obviously you lose some points here. The bonus points to Jeremy. He talked about how you guys have talked, in saying that the bonus points could really make the difference here this season on, winning the championship or not here. And obviously tonight, he's able to get the upper hand on you, not only picking up the heat race win, finishing just in front of you, but here in the feature event, getting those bonus points and still finishing that one spot in front of you here as well. So you end up losing, a good handful of points here after gaining a good handful back last Wednesday night.
Yeah, he gained 9 on me tonight. It's with the heat points, it's really tough because not only does someone get heat points, they also get to start high. So, say one of these nights one of us gets wrecked in our heat and gets, 8th or 9th in our heat, the other guy wins and starts up front. I mean, that's going to be a monumental, point swing. We're averaging second place right now. We got a 3, a 1, a 2, and a 2, or 2 and a 3. So we're averaging second in the feature, but we've just been getting killed on the bonus points. And I mean, there's really not much you can do about it. I couldn't pass Jeremy early on. The goal would have been to pass him before lap 35, obviously, and try to lead the rest of them. But yeah, I can't run that complete middle of the track when it's slick. It just doesn't fit my driving style. So as the race came on, we started moving up and really felt like I started making some time running like a mid slider line up to the cushion in 1 and 2. And JC must have told Jeremy I was making time on him because Jeremy moved up. As soon as he moved up, I just couldn't do much with him. I'd say you can't pass, but then Hennigan went from 18th to first, so he could pass. But yeah, it's just tough. Sometimes points racing's it's uh, it's not just trying to win the race all the time. There's a lot of stuff going on in your head, and try not to get a penalty or try not to do this or that. And it's gonna one of these weeks, one of us is gonna have a bad night, and neither one of us had a bad night yet. And yeah, I was just looking, man. He's killing us. So hopefully, hopefully we draw a one of these weeks and we can go out and lead every lap of the feature and get a bunch of bonus points back.
Yeah, absolutely. Gotta get a little extra money there to the pill draw lady to give yourself a better starting spot in one of these heat races. Obviously, Jeremy's had some pretty good luck here on the year already with those pill draws. You haven't been as lucky here tonight. Wasn't too bad starting there in third, but obviously you have Jeremy right there in front of you, and just not a lot you can do there in that heat race, trying to battle just for second to lock yourself into this A main feature event. But man, you guys put on an absolute epic show for us right from the drop of the first green flag down to this checkered flag here tonight. Tyler, who would you like to thank for another great run and great performance out there on the racetrack?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Jim for putting the league on. Think he's gonna have a busy night. It seemed like there was a lot of cautions behind us. I don't know what really was going on, but it's just a tight track. I don't know. Jim usually picks tracks based on how many cautions we had last season, so I'm hoping this ranks high enough where we don't have to come back here. Is is my hope. But you for the broadcast as always. My parents for watching, friends and family that watch, everyone that comes out. Josh Patterson, Josh Patterson doing my graphics. We got Selena 52 on the car now, and we got the piss jug man up top, and we had a decent showing. We'd like to put it in the victory lane for our first time out, but the thing feels pretty good, and we're gonna get some wins here sooner or later.
Yeah, absolutely, and we can't wait to see you back up here on Victory Lane, especially with that new fresh paint scheme here in this series. We can't wait to see you guys back in action, duking it out, and going to battle for our fifth race of the season at, I do believe, Lucas Oil next Wednesday night. TJ, can't wait to see you there. Hopefully, we'll see you right back up here in the broadcast booth, maybe a couple spots better and in Victory Lane yourself.
Yeah, I said, we just talk to you every week. We'll be all right. Well, we're 4 weeks down. We're 4 weeks in, and we talk to you every week, and we're getting smoked. But yeah, it's gonna come down to if somebody has one bad race. I think maybe we have a. I think maybe we have a drop race this season, so that even puts you might as well run it even harder. If you get in a wreck or something, and you can drop that race. But the penalties carry over, so you obviously don't want to get a penalty because that'll stick with you whether they drop that race or not. So yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, hopefully we make up some ground here, and at least we know we're in the hunt every week, and that's the main thing. If you can hang out in the top five, top three, you're gonna have your chances at winning, and you're gonna get lucky sometimes. And I mean, we got lucky last week with that caution to get the win, but didn't save any tire tonight, and we were up on the wheel, and that was a pretty crazy last few laps from the driver's seat. Hopefully it was a good broadcast because it was pretty wild behind the seat.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It was a hell of a show each and every lap here this evening, man. And we can't wait to see what you guys got in store for us next Wednesday night. T-Jack, congrats on the third place run, man. And we can't wait to see you back out there. Enjoy the rest of your evening and have yourself a great rest of your week.
All right, you too.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our third place finisher, Tyler Jackson, as T-Jack comes home here in third place here in the Dirt Warrior Racing League's Wednesday night street fights. Powered by some of our amazing sponsors you've seen down there scrolling in that bottom right-hand corner. Huge shout out to Doghouse Racing and Doghouse Chassis for being on board with us. McLean Motorsports, Schuler Chassis, Sharkbite Motorsports, Jeremy Vaughn Racing, Apache Designs, Apachean Home Solutions, iRacing iFlag, Dirt Warrior Racing League, Grumpy Graphics, and the Dirt Warrior Promotions for, all coming together, putting this together, and putting on another amazing season of the Dirt Warrior Racing League. We can't wait to see these guys back in action again next Wednesday night as And heck of a show, heck of a race here this evening. My boy Jeremy Vaughn says, woo, I had a good run going for a little bit, laugh out loud. Still a good run, brother. You came home 7th. You gained 13 spots out there on the racetrack. Solid top 7 run. I know you were up there just inside the top 5 for a little bit, but man, you know, it would have been good to see get a good top 5 run, but still top 10 performance. Never a bad day at the Speedway, man. Another good run for you here tonight, and definitely much better than what happened and what you got last week at Knoxville Raceway. That is for certain. Back on track here for the year for that number 3 machine of Mr. Vaughn. Man, heck of a run, heck of a show these guys put on for us here this evening. We can't wait to see them back in action. Unfortunately, though, that is going to do it for us here tonight. Jimmy says, had to make up for last week. Yeah, definitely had to make up for last week. Last week was rough, brother, but this week, much better, and we hope that it stays that way and keep having these good runs every week and not runs like you had there in Knoxville. But man, great race, great show, great performance by all these drivers. We can't thank them enough for tuning in and obviously putting together a great race and a great show for all of us fans in the stands, cheering them on, and for obviously all of you fans in the stands that have been in here watching, tuning in, everyone that's came in with, any of the likes or comments in the broadcast, anyone who has, hit that subscribe button, become part of the PeaceMaker family here today, man. We can't thank you guys enough and welcome you guys enough into the fam here on PeaceMaker Gaming, and we can't wait to see you guys back in here for our next race. Now, we're off tomorrow night. We don't have anything planned for that, but our Thursday night series, it's coming up, and it's coming up real quick. We're going to be back here, I do believe, not this week, but next week with their Daytona Clash races, and then a week off for the actual duels in Daytona, and then we'll be back again, and their season starts, and it's all season long there for our Thursday night. So going to be a lot more amazing racing here, and filling back in each and every single night of the week, which is amazing to see, and we can't wait to see you guys back in the grandstands cheering on our drivers Friday night. Friday night is our championship night for our Full Throttle Outlaws Racing League. So make sure you guys tune into that one. Join the fans in the stands and put together another great race for us here on PeaceMaker Gaming. As Jeremy says, one drop race, time to lock in left. Oh yeah, time to lock in, Jeremy. Time to lock in. That's a good race to use as a drop race right there for Knoxville. Says, appreciate you, Peace, for every week taking time to broadcast these, brother. It's always my pleasure. No better place to be than up here in the booth and watching these amazing Dirt Street stocks duke it out here in the Dirt Warrior Racing League. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is going to do it for us here tonight. We can't thank you guys enough for tuning in and showing the love, and we'll see you guys back in here in the next one, man. Peace and love, ladies and gentlemen. Peace and love, and we'll see y'all later.
Sun's sinking low on a workday sky, but there's a hellfire looking every driver's eye. You can hear the engine screaming from a mile away, tearing up the silence at the end of the day. Fire in the pipes and a blur in the eyes, where the clay meets the chrome and the sheet metal flies. It's a different kind of gospel, a different kind of heat, when the rubber meets the clay and the slide's complete. It's a Wednesday night street fight, hammer on the gas, tailing out and screaming, looking for the past. From the green flag drop to the checkered flags waving, it's a Wednesday night war and the dirt we're craving. No points for pretty, no room for grace, just a bent up bumper and a killer pace. Yeah, we're living for the slide and the engine roar. Wednesday night street fights, give us some more. Got a dirt track legend and a beat up Chevy and a rookie kid that's right foot heavy. He's searching on the high side, looking for some grip. One wrong move and he's gonna let it slip. He's leaning on the cushion, bouncing off the wall. You gotta have the guts if you're gonna have 10 just to turn around and do it all again. It's midweek mayhem underneath the lights, chasing down the checker through these dirt track nights. It's a Wednesday night street fight, hammer on the gas, tailing out and screaming, looking for the pass. From the green flag drop to the checkered flags waving, it's a Wednesday night war and the dirt we're craving. No points for pretty, no room for grace, just a bent up bumper and a killer pace. Yeah, we're living for the slide and the engine roll. Wednesday night street fights, give us some more.